Hello, my name is Brandon Choi, and today I'll be doing a presentation on the country of Cyprus. Now, some facts about Cyprus is that it is a relatively small populated country, sitting at 1.3 million people, and it is the third largest and third most populous island on the Mediterranean. As a net export with the US, sitting at 51.4 million, and its governmental structure is a constitutional republic / multi-party presidential democracy. The primary languages of Cyprus is Turkish and Greek, with 80.9% speaking Greek and only about 0.2% speaking Turkish. The primary ethnic group of Cyprus consists of Greek Cyprus, which makes up 98.8% of the population. Now, the business culture in Cyprus is very similar to the US, with them working 38 hours a week and 8 hours a day. The standard working hours are typically from 8:30 to 5:30, and workers take a break from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. to eat lunch, although some offices will take a longer lunch break or work shorter days during the summer months. Now, the basic etiquette for the Cyber culture is when they agree to meeting on a specific time, it's very punctual, so it can be 20, 30, or even 45 minutes late. Refusing something can often be interpreted as an insult, so it's best to accept whatever they're offering. And it's very important to be on best professional behavior, especially around family, friends, colleagues, and swearing is heavily frowned upon. Some general rules for business attire is to dress business casual and conservatively by avoiding bright fabrics and colors. Men typically wear a tie with neutral colors, that is standard, and it is considered rude to remove a jacket or a tie before a colleague does so. Closed-toe shoes are frowned upon in the business setting, and for women, they want them to dress conservatively, nothing too revealing. Dresses should be below the knee, and to avoid wearing extremely high heels and any form of flashy or large jewelry. Some verbal communication in Cyprus is dependent on the language they speak. Typically, you'll greet them in Yalsug, as most speak Greek, but for Turkish Cypriots, you'll greet them with merhab or salam, and English greetings are common too. Cypriots speak very directly. They're very clear and honest when they speak, but that does not mean they're concise. They actually like to prolong the conversation and will continue adding. They usually speak very fast and loudly, like I am doing now. Some non-verbal communication in Cyprus culture is they typically like their personal space, keeping about an arm's length between one another. Eye contact is a show of respect, and it is to be expected as it implies sincerity. Cypriots are very animated. They may use more gestures during conversations, such as arm, hand, face gestures. And touching is an informal way of saying no, and it is not considered rude. It's like saying tisk tisk in the US. Giving gifts in Cyprus culture is very good. Typically, you want to present the gift at the beginning of a visit, and you want to receive and offer gifts with two hands. Flowers are pretty good gifts, except white lilies, which are to only be given at funerals, and it's typically good to bring something edible when visiting someone's home. Money may be permissible as a gift for large occasions such as weddings and birthdays. When meeting and negotiated in Cypriot business culture, personal relationships are the foundation of a successful business relationship. Who you know can be more important than what you know, and you should not raise your voice or appear upset or emotional while speaking. The discussions can be lengthy. You should remain patient, and they are very skilled negotiators, so you can expect a great deal of bargaining and a great deal of room for negotiation and concession on both sides. Trust and relationships. Cypriots value personal relationships for doing business. A person's integrity is judged by their family's reputation. Cypriots envisage their loyalty to individuals personally rather than to that person's business as an entity. And informal agreements have so much weight that they are reluctant to consent to anything, and they will only accept if they will follow through. Some considerations. Following the European financial crisis, the middle class has struggled with unemployment, becoming a serious problem. Cypriots have a very strong work ethic, and this may be influenced by the harder economic climate. because they're positioned between the Eastern Europe and the Middle East, it is a key advantage for offshore companies, and it has a moderate corruption as it ranks 42nd out of 180 countries on the Corruption Perception Index with a score of 57 out of 100. Public behavior is typically rude to walk around with bare feet in public, rude to yawn when talking with people of authority or family. Drinking too drunk is heavily frowned upon. Littering, spitting, frowned upon. It's normal to find people grooming in public bathrooms. Smoking is widely accepted, and removing your hat while speaking to others is shown as a form of respect. Eating in Cyber culture, you should not eat until the host indicates it is time for everyone to do so. Cyprus will typically offer food several times, and they may take initial refusals as politeness and serve more anyway. If you really want to refuse food, you should clearly express how full you are. It is common to drink alcohol on special occasions if you're not Muslim, and it's best to take small initial servings so you can accept more later, and best to eat everything on the plate to show gratitude. It's heavily frowned upon to get drunk while eating. The household/family structure in Cyber culture is that the men typically are expected to be the main providers for the family, and Cyber women receive today a high-level education and work to contribute to the household income, but are still expected to be responsible for most of the household duties. And age gives authority and family/society in Cyber culture. It is very important, age. I thank you for sitting with me in this presentation, and I hope you learned something.